Good morning. Welcome to Barefoot Podcast. My name's Doug Hark. Let's have a cup of coffee. Now, it's been a very interesting 24 hours. I have to admit it started with we got more horses in. And that means more work for me. So that was going on my mind. I was working on just letting it go. And I was doing a very good job of it. One thing that came up was more work. The wheelbarrow I'm using is falling apart and actually is becoming dangerous. So yesterday, I went up to get started to work first thing in the morning, and the boss was there, and I mentioned to him about the wheelbarrow. He is cheap. He doesn't understand or see the beauty of where he lives and what he has. He always looks at what the costs are. So every time I come to him about anything, he mentions money. And now that I think of it, I need to look in the mirror and think about that myself. So anyways, he gives me this speech about, we can't afford this. And we'll get it when we can. I reply back, well, let's try to do it quickly because the way the wheelbarrow is broken twice, metal has slashed right across my wrist. And one time it actually brought blood. And then I just kind of walked off. I just mainly said, let's do it quickly because I don't want my wrist slashed. I let this thought continue on my mind through this day about more work. I don't get a wheelbarrow. They don't listen to me. Yesterday afternoon, I left the property, and I came back, and here's a brand new wheelbarrow there. And going back a little bit, yes, the wife came out, and she started talking to me about the wheelbarrow and made it clear they were going to get me a wheelbarrow. So I come back in the afternoon, and here's a wheelbarrow sitting there. And it's like, oh, cool. They wanted to show me they got me a wheelbarrow because they had wheeled it all the way down to where I live. A few hours later, I get a knock on the door, and the husband comes and informs me that I am to now bring the wheelbarrow back every day and leave it here. He doesn't want anyone else using it because they might ruin it. This is where it all starts, because now I'm thinking, great. I'm going to have to, because people are going to ask me, why are you taking the wheelbarrow? And I'm going to have to be honest. What else can I say? What, I like to keep it with me? So I'm just going to have to say, well, he doesn't want anyone else using it. I had this thought continually in my head last night. What am I going to do? I don't like this. And I came up with all other sorts of excuses. I went to bed with that thought. Now here we're getting where I want you to understand what this podcast is about. I woke up about 3 o'clock in the morning thinking about the dang wheelbarrow. I woke up at my time when I am to get up, which is usually a few minutes early in the morning, and instead of love, I'm thinking about the damn wheelbarrow. And so I do what I usually do and go, okay, love. What would Jesus do? Peace. What am I going to do about the damn wheelbarrow? I can't get the wheelbarrow out of my head. So now I get up. Usually at this time what happens is my mind is just all over. I'm like, I can't get my head into it. And I won't go right into my practice because I have a pattern of where I will get up and I do certain things. I turn on my computer because I watch a video which has my practice and music on it, and I'll start into it. And usually if I have a negative thought in the morning, it can kick me off of not doing my practice. This morning I was going to make a difference. I said, no, let's do the practice. It's a meditation. Let's get into it. So I got into it, and it was just this constant battle the whole time of, okay, peace, love, wheelbarrow, peace, love. And then I started using the tools I have, and I started switching to images of love and peace, images of seeing myself with that beautiful woman, images of seeing myself doing things I love. And as I did that, all of a sudden I noticed I would stay into the pattern of thinking about these beautiful experiences longer. And the wheelbarrow, I would go back to thinking about love. And I would stay there longer. Wheelbarrow comes, I'd go back to thinking love. Love would stay longer. And I ended my practice with love and doing a beautiful chakra aligning focusing on myself and thinking about myself has love. Now, if we look at life, and I'm going back to myself, when I went through with the divorce, I was all that surrounded me in my life is divorce. I went to bed and I woke up with divorce on my mind, and it stayed there and it stayed there and it stayed there. It wasn't until I started thinking about other things and replacing those thoughts of divorce that the divorce left my mind. So this is what I wanted to share with you this morning. We only have so much space in our mind that we can focus on something. You can focus on what you don't want, or you can focus on what you want. The reason we go into panic attacks is because we are ramming so much thought of what we don't want into such a short period of time that it just drives us crazy. And before we know it, I'm not doing my morning practice, which leads to my day not being so centered. This morning I kept ramming back into my head love, what I wanted, peaceful love. And my morning is to where it is this morning, having a peaceful chat with you. Go to bed with what you want to think about. Think about good thoughts before you go to bed. In the morning, if you're not thinking what you want to think, keep pushing in those thoughts that you want to think, and it will eventually churn to those thoughts that you want to think. Have a great day.